I've been looking at my Facebook feed and Twitter stream with great attention over the last couple of days, and there has been this interesting trend of people saying, "Hey, you know what? We're going to have to work together. We didn't want a President Trump, but we're going to have to work through our differences and find common ground." And it feels so disingenuous and ridiculous because we do have two Americas in the United States of America. There's no way about it. I've been talking about it for a long time. We have one America, and I'll describe both of them to you, and it might resonate with you or it might make you really angry and want to insult me because of my Judaism or origin of being born in Argentina, which is part of what tells us that we have these two Americas. That's something that would only strike some in this country as a reasonable way to attack what I'm going to tell you. We have one America where secularism, science, learning, and cultural sensitivity, openness to diversity of ideas and diversity of people has led to some of our greatest advancements on the backs of, not exclusively, but predominantly liberal ideas that would have been stifled if we had let conservatism reign. The 40-hour work week, weekends, Civil Rights Act, women's voting rights, national parks, the GI Bill, the FDA, Social Security, NASA, public universities, the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, the Hoover Dam, Title IX, one currency for the entire country as opposed to a patchwork of currencies, the right to due process. These are all things that in some way, shape, or form were either partially or completely opposed by what we would consider the extreme sort of anti-government right. And then on the other hand, you have another America, which prides itself on being anti-intellectual, on living in this alternate reality where whoever is the current other is bad and to be feared and gone after and removed and neutralized however possible. These fantasy world ideas about how economies and societies can be run that have no correlation to reality whatsoever. And of course, often with no sense that mixing religion and government, and usually it's one religion and government, is bad. Work together. Find middle ground, respect each other's ideas. I'd love it if it were possible, but how is it? Because we have one country that has advanced so quickly since the Pilgrims made landfall, and another country in the United States of America that is constantly trying to keep things as if we were still in the 1620s at Plymouth Rock. So when I tell you now how progressives should work with Donald Trump, this is not some pie in the sky kumbaya that we're all going to get together and have harmony. This is just a few ways in which progressives can maybe take advantage of some of the ideas that Donald Trump has gotten agreement on from Republicans that usually Republicans would be very much repelled by. So, for example, it would be best for progressives not to antagonize the low information clowns that supported Donald Trump, which I'm doing right now by describing them as clowns, and try to avoid what we would call sort of identity politics. Let's criticize specific individuals for the things they say and their horrible ideas. I'm going to make the effort, Pat, although it's going to be really tough, not to slam the entire group of deplorables that voted for Donald Trump. I'm going to work up to that, hopefully, by the time Trump is inaugurated. I'm clearly having some trouble today. But from a pragmatic perspective, it would be best to at least pretend like maybe we could work with some of these people.
Well, even among our elected representatives, there's no incentive anymore to compromise. If you make a deal with the other party, the donor class is going to fund your primary challenger the next campaign. And the days of working together, Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill working together to get effective policy passed, those are long over. Yeah, and now what we're going to need to do is basically cherry pick as progressives areas where Trump has bamboozled his base into supporting ideas that Republicans generally don't like. So, number one, the left should join the clueless Trump supporters, even though they barely understand what the hell is going on, in favoring Trump in terms of less intervention with Middle East dictators, right? That was an area where Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders were very, very similar. Progressives and low information Trump supporters who think that this is a right-wing idea should work together in trying to push Trump to make changes to trade agreements to the extent that it's possible, right? And a lot of what Trump has said he's going to do, he just won't be able to do, to try to help the American people. Stop the trillions of dollars of waste in the defense and military industrial complexes. Even if the Trump supporters like it only because Trump said it, because when Democrats say it, they don't like it, it's still useful
to try to get them on board, to pressure Trump to actually do that stuff. The entire respect for the office is just not going to happen. Look at what Republicans did for 8 years of Obama. And as I posted to Twitter and Facebook earlier today, I am committing today to give Donald Trump the same support, respect, and admiration of the office that Republicans gave to President Obama for the last 8 years, because anything less, Pat, would be uncivilized. Unfortunately, it's a pretty damn low bar to set.
Right. I mean, his successes are the country's successes. So in terms of economic policy, foreign policy, we hope he does well.
Yeah.
On other things like social issues, honestly, I hope he fails.
This isn't about they did it, we will do it. It's about we will respect what there is that is worthy of respect. And there's a few ideas in there that could be good things for all. But beyond that, we've got two countries here, ladies and gentlemen. And the idea that we're just all going to come together now is absolutely ridiculous.